Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I want to share with you a little bit more into our geography curriculum for our homeschool this year. I've been wanting to go a little bit more in depth into some of our curriculum and share it with you guys. So a couple months back, it's been a little while now, I did a video on our math curriculum. Now I'm going to be going a little bit more into our geography curriculum and just what we use and how we use it, and I'd like to do this with some of our other curriculum as well, but today we're going to focus on geography. So at the beginning of this school year I did show you what we were using, and it is this book called Galloping the Globe. I had heard good reviews of this book, and so I thought we would try it out for our geography curriculum. Our school-age children are in grade 3, grade 1, and kindergarten. Actually, my kindergartner really doesn't do it, so I do this with my 3rd grader and my 1st grader. So it is a unit study, which at the beginning of the year, it took me a little bit to understand, like, do I like this or do I not? Because we're not using it as a unit study. But it has everything in it. So at the very beginning it starts just talking about the world and like the oceans and stuff. So sorry, it doesn't really talk about it. It just shows the world. It has a little reproducible page that the kids can do, and then it shows lots of different materials that you can purchase or borrow from your library or find, and so it gives you all these different books that you can get. So all about history and biographies, all about science, about literature, general references, etc. And then some activities and stuff. And so it is an all-inclusive unit study, but we don't use it like that. So I'm going to show you how we use it. So first, like I said, it talks about the world, and so it has talking about the oceans, talking about all the different continents, and the kids are learning like the North and South Pole and all those details. And then it goes into specific continents. So the next page here, reproducible page, all on the continents, and getting the kids to see if they can recognize all the continents as well as the oceans, and then just some fun stuff too. So they do have throughout the book like word searches and little mazes and stuff that you can photocopy if you want to. And then it goes into each continent. So here's Asia, and then it just chooses a few countries in that continent to study closer. So here they have China. This is a reproducible page, and then it asks some questions here that the kids can find out and fill in to know more about that country. And then again, for every country they have different books that you can get, and I did look into some of them at our library, and a lot of them our library did not have. Granted, we do have a small library, but I didn't find a lot of these books. Anyways, and then at the end of that chapter they have a flag you can print up, and then it goes on to the next country. And so each continent has, I want to say, 5 or 6. I'll show you the table of contents here. So Asia, you can see what they have. Europe, this is as far as we've gone. At this point of the year, we've only done Asia and Europe. So now, I hope that kind of explained how the book works. I'm going to show you how we use it. So my kids have these school binders. I have been meaning to get specific geography duotangs or binders for the kids to have all their geography stuff in, but for right now it's just all in their main binder. But what we did, find the beginning of our geography stuff. So I printed up the Asia map for them, and then we went into the first country. So like I showed you, China was the first country. So what they do when they get to China, I don't know why this wasn't finished coloring in, but they'll color this in. They'll find where it is on their Asia map and color it in here as well. And then what I did is I tried to find at our library a book all about China. So some countries are easy to find, others are not. Some of the countries I could not find a book solely on that country, and so if I couldn't, I would just find a web page that described things in China, maybe showed some pictures of buildings that are in China, pictures of the scenery and what it's like there. A couple of the countries I did find a book at the library that was kind of written by a child, like it's a child telling what it's like living in that country, which I think was the best. The kids really enjoyed learning about this child and what they eat there and what they do in their day and how they travel and all that kind of stuff. But so they have these main questions. So every country has this on their country page. Population, capital city, religion, type of government. I didn't do type of government because it doesn't really make any sense yet for my kids. But we did currency, the language, and what are the people called. So we did this, and then I get the kids to color a flag. I showed them a picture of the flag online, and they had to color that in on their page. So for Asia, we did China, we did South Korea, we did Japan, India, and was there one more? Israel. I think that's it. And that was it for the countries in Asia. Then I printed up this Asia review map, and the kids had to show me, if they could remember, where all the countries that they've learned were on this map. So they had to point out for me, this one is China, this one is Japan, this one is South Korea, and so on. They had to find those for me. And then I also got them to do a little review on all their flags and all their countries. Just take a day just to kind of study those and review those a bit. And then I did a quiz. It wasn't really a test, I just kind of quizzed them. Like, what is the capital of China? What country has people that are called Japanese? Some of them were easy, but just kind of a quiz to see how well they remembered that, as well as the flag. So I pulled up pictures on the iPad and just showed them a flag and said, what country has this flag? And just to test if they could remember those flags and remember all those details. And that's really all we did for each continent. So then we got into Europe, and again, he colored in. As we learned the countries, he would color in the countries that we learned here. And that is where we are in this book so far. So all we've done is Asia and Europe. This book is definitely going to take us 2 years to complete, which I'm totally fine with, because at the point we are now, actually this week we're doing the Europe review for the kids to see how well they remember the countries in Europe we've learned and the flags that they've learned. And then we're at this chapter called Christmas Around the World. So I assume you're supposed to be getting to here around the halfway point of the year. We are much past the halfway point, and that is okay. We just do geography twice a week, if that, once or twice every week. So that is fine that it's taking a little bit longer. But then after we're finished that Christmas Around the World chapter, we're going to go on and talk about the poles, North America, South America, Africa, Oceania. So that is what we have left still to do. We're going through it quite slowly, like I said, but that is how we're using it. So not necessarily how they intended the book to be used. We're not doing it as a unit study, but I really have found that Elijah and Charity are learning a lot about these countries and a lot about just to know all the capital cities and to know where these countries are on a map. And sometimes I'll pull out our big scrunch map as well that they can look at and see where all of these countries are. And they really are learning a lot, just kind of learning just a few things about every country. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of the year, when I opened the book and saw that it wasn't really a curriculum, it just had like books, lists of books that you should be reading alongside of this, as well as some reproducible pages. I was a little bit like, a little bit disappointed that that is what this book is. I should have studied it before buying it, but we have really come to love it. And it also comes with a CD, which is just another method to find all those pages. You can just print them off of the CD. But that is it. This is our Galloping the Globe curriculum. Like I said, it will take us 2 years to get through the whole thing, which I am totally fine with. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're looking for a geography curriculum, this is something very simple, very basic. I think it says, yeah, it's suggested for K to 4th grade. So we're right in the right spot for that. And that is our geography curriculum. So please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of our curriculum. I plan to do our reading curriculum in the next few weeks, and then we'll go from there. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in our next video.